Guys, you might be asking yourself how to find high profit items to resell on eBay.
Selling higher profit items is definitely what we love to do, and we're kind of known for the larger items, but not all the items have to be large freight items that are high profit.
That's right. We're Rob and Melissa with Flea Market Flipper, and we don't always just sell the large, the huge items. We look for those higher profit items no matter what size they are. So check it out. We have a couple things behind us. That's right. We have a couple things behind us that we just sourced this week. You can see these stainless steel. There's some type of gas vents that we actually bought from the flea market last weekend. We bought them, we paid $10 for them, and then we have them listed for $1,000 a piece. So $20 invested into $2,000. So these are not that big. It can be shipped through FedEx, UPS, USPS if you wanted. And then this is one that we just sold today.
This morning.
That's right, and we paid $10 for this bad boy and sold it for $540. So
let's dive in on how to help you find the higher profit items.
That's right, but before we do that, let's get started with where to go to find these items. You guys might be asking yourself, hey, that's awesome, but I don't even know where to start. Where do I go to find these items?
So there's so many places that you can go. Our favorites are obviously the flea market, and we love online apps.
Yep.
I like the thrift stores. And I like yard sales.
Yep.
You like auctions. So there's so many different types of places you can find items.
There are. The smartphone has changed this industry. You can sit in your lazy boy chair at night and be able to source from all these different apps. Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, all these different apps that you're able to just sit in your lazy boy and be able to source. So you can go to any resale app, or like Melissa said, you can go to flea markets, yard sales, auctions, all those different places to be able to find these things. But you might be saying, man, it's so overwhelming when I get to these places. How do I actually find something that's high profit?
So the biggest thing you're looking for is an item that's high retail. So you want something that's going to have high retail, and that's usually going to be something with a good brand, good high-end name brand.
That's it. That's it. That's what you want to look for. Like I said, these two things behind me that I picked up last weekend, I didn't know anything about them, but they caught my interest. I saw a $10 price tag on them, and then underneath that, I saw a different store price item, and it was $400. So that right there intrigues my interest. I'm like, okay, why were they selling this thing for $400? Let's dig in and find a little bit more research. I ended up digging into it and finding out that the retail on these bad boys was over $1,500, which that's exactly what you want to look for. Find any identifying markings on the item that you see that intrigues your interest. This had a brand name and a model, so I was able to find it, not necessarily on eBay, but I was able to find it on Google and saw what retail was for. So that's your second step, is actually do the research. Find out what it retails for, and we have a great system to know if you can find out what retail is, you can get a good idea if it's in good condition, what you can sell it for.
Yeah, so the next thing is making sure that your profit will be there, so making sure you're getting it at a good cost. So obviously $10 is a good cost.
That's it.
And that's what the guy was asking, right?
Exactly.
So.
And I tried to talk him down, but he wouldn't do it. Just because it's me, I offered him 15 for two of them. He said no. The ball valve alone, and you can see there's little valves on these up there. He said the ball valve alone is worth 10 bucks, so he was sticking with that, which I was okay with it. I paid him the 20 bucks for him, and when we went forward with the sale. So, but yeah, that's a huge point. You want to be able to get them cheap enough that the resale value is there, because it's got a high retail.
And your profit is in the buy, and we say that all the time because it is. And if it's not there, if you can't meet, you and the buyer aren't there, or the seller aren't there, then it's not worth it. You need to walk away because it's not worth what you can't invest in it.
That's right, that's right. So you definitely want to check that stuff out before you actually invest the money into it. As for me, I don't think these are going to fly off the shelf in a week. They could, but I don't think they are. But I'm okay with spending 10, 20, 30 bucks on a couple items, and I might sit on the shelf for, you know, a month, 2 months, 3 months until the right person sees it. But we have them listed for $1,000, and the retail is over $1,500. They're in great shape. I don't even know if they've ever been used. So I know I'll get, when the right buyer comes along, I know I'll get $1,000 for that bad boy.
So also looking for unique items. So items that you're always kind of just something that catches your eye. You know, you say that you go out there and you're looking, looking all the time, and just see what something that might catch your eye and doing research on it.
That's it.
So,
and as you can see, you guys might not know exactly what these are. I had no idea what they were, but it intrigued my interest. The thing that helped the best was the price tag on it from a store. The price tag of $400, and then he was only asking $10. So that enough, and that doesn't always happen, but just looking at that, these are probably about 40 pounds. They're heavier, they're well built. Just looking at them, you know it's some type of commercial application. If you can find commercial items very, very cheap. They are definitely worth buying, but you always want to do the research. You want to do the comps on them or find out what they are worth or what they retail for before you invest in them. So like I said, I'm going to put these on the shelf. We got them listed. I'm going to put them on the shelf. They may sit a month. They may sit 6 months, but I'm okay with spending $10 on an investment that's going to make me $1,000, letting it sit for that long. Some people might not want to. They might want to turn it quicker, and I could probably drop them to $500, but still it takes the right buyer to come along to actually buy this. But when they see it for $1,000 and they don't have to go out and spend $1,500 to $2,000 per item, they're going to jump on it for $1,000.
So how did you know about the research on that one?
Yeah, definitely. This one actually came from one of my flea market vendors, and as you can see, I don't know what the heck this is. It's some type of computer board. It looks expensive, but I had no idea. It had a name brand on it, which was Woodward, is the name brand of it, and it had a model and a serial number and all that stuff. So the same exact way, when I came across this, I was like, okay, this looks expensive, but how much is it really worth? So I found the retail. The retail was between $4,500 and $5,000 for this little bad boy. So that's why we sold it. We sold it for a tenth of that because I was unable to test this. I have no idea. It's got a lot of electronic parts inside of it. If you can see, a lot of components that I have no idea if it works or not. So I sold it untested for $540, and they got it for like a tenth of what the actual retail value is. People can rebuild these boards all day long. That's it. They can rebuild this, so it's still worth. All the components are in here. Nothing's been taken apart. So if somebody has to fix it, and maybe they spend double what they spent, $1,000 instead of spending $5,000 on this item to have it rebuilt, it is so worth it for them.
Yeah. So the one good thing to know too is that that's for a tenth of retail, but that was for parts. A good rule of thumb is you can usually get around 50% of retail value. So if you can't find sold comps on eBay because it's a unique item,
which I couldn't do on these. I couldn't find a comp on it. So we actually went off of retail.
So retail is usually about 50% is a good rule of thumb. And we're not big into taking risk. You don't gamble with your investments. I mean, $10-20 is still not a lot to gamble. But yeah, you like to know what you're getting into.
Yeah, and that's what I tried to touch on a little bit earlier. Yeah, there's a good system to figure this out. If you can find out what retail is, typically if it's in good condition, you can probably get about 50% of that. If these bad boys had been $50 a piece, I would have walked past them and I wouldn't have done it. Just because I don't want to sit on a $100 investment. I mean, it's got the potential to make me great money, but I couldn't find the exact comps on eBay. So it was a type of a risk, a sort of a risk that I wasn't willing to do. I have plenty of other items that are listed. I didn't want to sit on these for $100 and put them on the shelf for maybe a month, 6 months, whatever it turns out to be. At $10, that's a no-brainer for me. 10 to 1,000, that's just huge, and I'll do that all day long. I love finding those investments that are under $20 that have the huge return like this. So that's what we're out there looking for, and the key, one of the huge keys, is brand name. And yeah, you definitely want to look at brand name and retail value.
And getting out there and doing the legwork. It's not a lot of time, but it's just being consistent with it and going out there, looking up items as you go by. And you don't have to look up every single item, but those couple items, you start to get a bank of items in your head too. Like, okay, well, that's worth this, that's worth this, and that's just what you've done over the years. So, but you got to get started if you haven't yet.
And that's a huge point. You guys, we've been in the business for over 20 years. So like, I've never sold any of these three items. I've never sold, well, I have, sorry. When I bought these, I bought a lot of, I mean, I got, I think like 6 or 8 of them. The first ones I sold $500 a piece.
The first time you sold them.
Yeah, but before that, I had no idea what they were. I've never sold one. But like I was saying, once I've done these one time, now when I sell these for $1,000, if I see more at the flea market, I don't even need to go and do any comps. I don't need to go and do that stuff. I have that. Now, I've done that for years. Over 20 years, I have a library of items that I've sold throughout the years. It makes it a lot easier for me to go on and invest stuff, but you have to start somewhere. And just like this, I didn't know what these exactly. I didn't know what these were, so it just took me time to do the research.
A couple minutes on your iPhone.
It is, and that's the cool thing. Your smartphone nowadays has put it at your fingertips that you can do all this work in a couple minutes and then be able to have the potential to make some crazy, crazy profits on these items.
So go out and find some items.
That's right, guys. Hopefully this has helped you guys. Please like, subscribe. You know, we love doing these videos. We love trying to give tips on getting people out there. This is the business, if you guys can't tell, we are passionate about. We love flipping. We love high profit items.
You're going to do it forever.
That's it. I will. And this is way past when I'm retired. I'll be doing this for the rest of my life because I absolutely love it. So, like I said, if you guys please would subscribe, hit the bell. You guys, we love doing these and we'd love to do some more for you.
Thank you guys for watching.
You guys rock. Have a great day.
Bye.
See ya!